All right, guys. AI will not replace all jobs. It's just economically impossible. And that's the key. I spend about $700 a month on AI subscriptions. The costs of my curiosity are quite high, and it's obvious as to why AI cannot replace all jobs in the future. You know why? It's simply cost. Money acts as a constraint, not a catalyst. It introduces friction into the human creative and productive processes. The pursuit of money often redirects energy from creation to survival or optimization for profit. Without the need for money, humans could create purely from curiosity, purpose, or passion rather than necessity. And the system of exchange, money, was meant to facilitate trade but evolved into a control mechanism that determines access, opportunity, and freedom. Here's the paradox. The paradox is money fuels creation through resources, but limits scale through scarcity and gatekeeping. So, true freedom would mean disentangling value from currency, right? Where contribution and creation are not constrained by capital flow. Money, though designed as a tool for coordination and trade, has become the primary bottleneck to human potential. It imposes friction on innovation and limits the rate at which people can build, create, and explore. In a post-monetary world, growth could be exponential because we're no longer constrained by money, and simply because we're driven by human curiosity and collaboration rather than constrained by this capital. And so, you might be thinking, okay, so what is this treatise on money as a constraint? Well, that's the issue. I spend $700 on AI tokens and subscriptions per month. Most people are not willing to spend $700 a month on tokens. And sometimes, as you guys know, I'll spend over $1,000 in a day for science. So let me be clear. AI will not replace all jobs because it's economically inefficient to use AI in many ways. The reality is AI is actually just going to drain your company of money. In an All-In podcast I listened to a couple months ago, Jason Calacanis said that his company hit $300 per day using Claude's API at only 10 to 20% capacity, which scales to be around $100,000 per year per agent. Chamath Papatia added that he's now asking, quote, "What's the token budget for our best devs?" and said AI-assisted developers need to be at least 2 times more productive just to justify the cost. He said this is actively happening inside his company or he'll run out of money. On average, for me, I'm running about 500 million tokens per day, but the reason is because I'm running on 6 boxes, and we have a lot of local LLMs on all of them, and so that allows us to just constantly run recursive loops all the time. Now, if I had to have all of those 6 boxes plus my big box here, all connected to the cloud and tokens, then $700 certainly wouldn't be enough. So this was always the obvious trajectory. AI providers subsidize usage to drive adoption, and now the subsidies are ending. The consumer plans are lost leaders subsidized by VC money, and the gap between what individuals pay and what it actually costs to run these models is actually closing pretty fast. I'm in a lot of ways struck by the surprise from people who should actually know better. These are sophisticated tech investors that are now just realizing that running agents 24/7 burns through tokens at rates that dwarf human salaries, right? And my personal experiments have hit this wall almost weekly. A human engineer runs off of coffee, remembers context from years ago, builds institutional knowledge, and doesn't rack up exponential costs the longer they think about a problem. Agents, on the other hand, spend tokens constantly, researching and validating, spinning up subagents, and not always, by the way, super optimized. The companies that fired the engineers and replaced them with AI agents are now learning that you can't negotiate an API bill the way you can renegotiate a salary. And frankly, in good AI implementation, layoffs shouldn't really ever happen. Only hiring should slow as current employees become 200% more effective and productive. As for the AI agents, the meter will always continue to run forever if you're doing it this way. So people ask me all the time, will AI replace jobs? Or that's a question that pops up all the time. I was trying to be honest with that answer. I said people ask me that, but the reality, people don't ask me that. I've been asked it a couple times, but it pops up all the time. No, AI will not replace all jobs. It's just economically inefficient. For now.